What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to Instinct Culture here with Denise Salcedo and SANTI Zap. We are talking Monday Night Raw, July 14th, the fallout of Evolution, and a damn good episode of Raw. Before we break it all down, Santi, how are you?
I am a disheveled version of myself. I have watched, like, no joke, I think like 17 hours of professional wrestling, actually like 20 if you include Friday Night SmackDown in the past, like 4 days straight. I think I have more white in my beard than I've ever had in just these like 4 days. I think I've aged like 50 extra years. I'm tired. I'm cranky. But this Raw got me in a good mood.
I thought you were going to say, I'm tired, I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with fucking children.
Not far off here.
Santi's so tired, he wouldn't even be able to manage a Target right now.
I wish I brought donuts. I wish I brought donuts to this show.
Anyway, so we got a fun episode of Raw to get into. Santi, I want to start right then and there. Coming off of Evolution, which was just I saw your thoughts on what you had to say about the show and how you felt about Rhea and Io, who just absolutely blew it out of the park. Naomi cashing in. Coming off of such a feel-good show like that and going into Raw, how did you feel overall about today's Monday Night Raw?
I mean, it's a fantastic follow-up considering they also had a wonderful women's match on this show as well with Lyra and Bayley. We had the big announcement there of the women's triple threat that I sincerely hope is at the very least in consideration for closing night one of SummerSlam, especially after how good Io and Rhea Ripley was. Yeah, though, I think this was a really, really great follow-up. But more than anything, like, this was a necessary big episode of Monday Night Raw because we're literally only 3 weeks away from SummerSlam. Like, they needed to really push the pedal to the motherfucking metal in this episode, and I do think that they did. I think that they did the appropriate steps to get me excited for SummerSlam because I spent all weekend bummed about SummerSlam, knowing it's going to be fucking Jelly Roll taking up the spot of Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul.
That's how I felt too. Okay, we all know why WWE is doing the Jelly Roll stuff. We get it, publicity, mainstream attention. We get all of that. But when you're taking up matches, SummerSlam matches for guys like Orton and Drew McIntyre and hell, even Logan Paul, you're taking up a lot of really big people. And let's be real, they could have kind of put some other people in this matchup for it to still hit and for them to get that publicity. So the fact that they chose these names, it's like, wow, okay. And again, not to mention, this isn't any ordinary SummerSlam. It's a 2-night SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah. And I don't mind celebrities being in these shows. I love the Johnny Knoxville stuff. But guess what? He faced a Sami Zayn that was directionless, that was doing nothing at the time. I love the Bad Bunny stuff. His WrestleMania debut, he teamed up with Damian Priest, who was just swimming in the mid-card, and The Miz and John Morrison, great mid-carders. And then his big match was against a Damian Priest that was also still in the mid-card that had yet to elevate himself to the main event. This is crazy. That is way too much star power when you have an injured Seth Rollins to invest in a match with Jelly Roll.
I know, that's so wild. Look, bro,
if Jelly Roll does a swanton bomb off the top of a Hell in a Cell, then yeah, all right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I did not know your game. If he does a shooting star table through a Slim Jim table, okay. All right.
That's what I was about to say. If we see something that kind of level spectacular, I will shut the F up and I will bow down to Jelly Roll. But until I see that, I'm not going to do anything just yet. How about this, Santi? If Jelly Roll goes out there and does a bomb-ass job, you and I, on the air, have to chow down 6 jelly donuts.
Oh, I'm on a diet.
So am I, but I don't know. I'm just throwing out a shot out there. I'm just trying to get them views, Santi.
We could do like jelly shots, like Jell-O shots, I guess.
Okay, cool. Yeah, mine Jell-O will have to be non-alcoholic, but I can shoot up some Jell-O shots.
Yeah, we could do some Jell-O shots. Yeah, I'm down.
Damn. All right, here we go. Let's do that. If Jelly Roll has a good match at SummerSlam, Santi and I will each have, what's a good number? 10 Jell-O shots?
I would die if mine aren't alcohol. If mine are alcoholic, I'll fucking die. Easy for you to say. You want me to?
Oh no, we're losing Santi. Santi, I think we lost you, bro.
I'm somewhere here.
Oh, wait, you're back.
I
You're
think
back.
I'm
You're
back.
back.
Yeah. We're
On
back.
the bright side, your screen froze up and you had like this really, you were like smiling, like perfect, like you were on a billboard or something.
Yeah, I don't take bad photos.
All right, so 10 is not a good number for Jello shots.
No, I would die, Denise. I would die.
All right, 6.
That's still a lot. You know what? Maybe
3.
let's go back to the jelly donuts.
You asked the jelly donuts. All right, whatever. 3 Jello shots. That's fair. 3 Jello shots. Santi and I, if Jelly Roll does a good job. But anyways, not only did we get the part that made Raw good today was that a huge chunk of the show, Santi, like the first hour and a half, was primarily female driven. It was just bang, 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 all the women, then the gauntlet, and then, of course, the return of Roman Reigns, which, let's be real, they held off until the last and final moment that they possibly could to bring out Roman Reigns. Now, before we break everything down, earlier you had mentioned kind of how you were feeling heading into SummerSlam. And that's one of the things that I was asking people was, what is your excitement level as of right now for SummerSlam on a scale of 1 to 10 based off of what we know so far?
Now, post this episode of Monday Night Raw, I'm like at a solid 7.5. Before it, I think I was at 0, like actually 0. Now that the fog of war is starting to lift, we're starting to see SummerSlam shape out. They did like a little mini recap of the match card that we currently have so far. I'm like, okay, there's some heaters here. I love the idea of now having Punk and Gunther. That gets me really pumped up. Finally, Gunther having one of those Raw main eventers going after the world title, which has been such a big criticism of Gunther's world championship reigns. And then Roman Reigns being back. I wish it was to have a singles match with Braun Breaker, but I imagine it's going to be a tag match with him and Jay versus BMB Security.
I think so too. Do you think, maybe this may be an obvious question, but do you think the original plan was supposed to be Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins? And also your thoughts on Seth Rollins being injured, because there seems to be conflicting reports as to, is this legitimate? Is this not? Are you leaning in a certain direction?
I learned the hard way when AJ Styles got injured against Carmelo Hayes, where I'm like, you idiots, this is obviously a work. They wouldn't be giving it this much screen time. They're clearly setting us up. And then he was out for like 7 months. So I learned the hard way to now, whenever I see this type of stuff, I just assume it's real, because if I assume that it's fake and it ends up being real, I'm an asshole. If I assume that it's real and it ends up being that I got work, great, good. That's good. All right, that's a good thing. Nice little surprise. So I'm assuming that the Seth Rollins injury is fully real, fully legit. If it's not, good Lord, if Punk wins against Gunther and then he gets cashed in on by a Seth Rollins, ooh, come on, that'd be hype. That'd be hype.
That's exactly where it's one of those things where you're going to have to wait and see if this is legitimate or not, because he is such a big part of the show that you don't know. And also I was thinking the same thing, that, okay, if Punk wins the title at SummerSlam and then Seth cashes in, man, that's going to be like the ultimate jerk move for Seth Rollins to do to CM Punk. But after the hell and back that they have been to, it would be justified for that to happen. So it would be a crazy moment. Now, if he's legitimately injured, Santi, then all of a sudden this puts in question of, okay, how long will he be out for? Will he even make it on time to return back to cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase? He has until June of next year. That's plenty of time. So we're really kind of stuck in this middle spot right now where we don't know what direction this is going to be. This is either going to turn out to be a really funny story between Seth and Punk, or it's going to turn out to be, something that we're waiting for a long time to see what actually plays out in the end. Because like another thing that crossed my mind was, what if we're in a world where Braun Breaker was champion by then? Because I even thought maybe that was a possibility and Seth would cash in on him. I don't know. What if he gives the Money in the Bank briefcase to Braun Breaker if he's going to be out forever? I don't know. Like, there's all these different scenarios right now that can play out. But until we know whether or not Seth is legitimately injured or not, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, there's so many things up in the air, so many what ifs, right? Ever since that Seth Rollins injury. In my video, I literally laid out like 15 different things that we need to now question, right? Like, what's the path for Gunther? What was the path for CM Punk? What is Roman now going to not return for SummerSlam if the plan was always Seth Rollins? But it looks like WWE is pivoting and pivoting quickly here. But yeah, the Seth Rollins injury, it's kind of crazy that it was Liv Morgan, somebody that they built so much around, and then not long after Seth Rollins, basically their two biggest anchors that they had on Monday Night Raw went down to significant injuries in a short amount of time between them.
Right. So going into today's show, I was about a 5 in terms of excitement level for SummerSlam. Coming out of today's show, I'm at a solid 7. I agree with that. We got 6 matches that we know of that are happening. John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Randy Orton, and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Gunther versus CM Punk, Naomi, Rhea, Io, and then Becky Lynch versus Lyra. So before we break all of what went down, we do got a couple of super chats that I want to get into. We got Casey Poole here who says, I was at Evolution and I saw Karrion Kross at Spirit Halloween. He said SANTI still isn't allowed on the train or in the Glaze factory. Bing bong, weba.
Yeah, that is a brain rotted listener of my podcast. That's what that is.
I love that. Casey, thank you so much for the love. We got Vanessa Vasquez who says, you think Rhea wins at SummerSlam so she walks into Crown Jewel as champ with it being in her home country and all. See, that's what, okay, so let's talk about this right now. So the opening of the show kicked off with Naomi cutting a very hilarious promo, basically saying, hey guys, you all doubted me when I was Glow, and now look at me now, I'm the champ. And she was confronted by Rhea Ripley, followed by Io Sky. This all led to them arguing, Adam Pearce coming out and saying that this is going to now be a triple threat match over at SummerSlam for the Women's World Championship. And so that's where we're at now. This is the match that we're getting. Vanessa brings up a great point because we know that whoever is champion come Clash in Paris, by the way, will go on to face Stephanie Vacker. So then whoever wins that, because let's not forget, Crown Jewel is all the way until October. Yeah. We still got plenty of time. So whoever wins this is going to go on most likely to face Stephanie. So what is the scenario going to look like? Is Naomi going to have a short run? Or will we end up seeing Rhea win here and then go on to face Stephanie at Clash in Paris? Or will it not happen? And will we not see whatever happens until Crown Jewel? I'm thinking she probably wins at Crown Jewel instead of going into it as champion.
Who wins at Crown Jewel?
Rhea. If Rhea gets a title match at Crown Jewel. I know this is so far ahead.
Okay, so you think that how does Rhea get the title going into Crown Jewel? Where?
Yes, that's what I'm wondering.
Where?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Naomi retains at SummerSlam somehow, faces Stephanie Vacker at Clash in Paris. Mm-hmm. Stephanie wins at Clash in Paris, and then Stephanie somehow faces Rhea at freaking Crown Jewel. Oh my God, that is a mess.
You can't.
I don't know how.
How can they face at Crown Jewel? Crown Jewel is champion versus champion.
Oh yeah, they could still have a title match though.
I mean, they did in the last Crown Jewel. Llast Crown Jewel, it was a
championship.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, last year. I mean, they could change that, right? It's not in Saudi because last year they had like the big dumbass looking belt that they paraded around for a while. They might not do that because previous Crown Jewels didn't have this, right? They didn't have the Crown Jewel Championship. The first one was last year, and it was in Saudi, and you know that Saudi loves the big displays of big things that happen in Saudi. Look at this big championship that we got here. With it not being in Saudi, maybe they don't do that.
I honestly forgot about the Crown Jewel Championship. I forgot about the title versus title. So my scenario could still happen, but now I'm thinking it is more likely that Rhea does win at SummerSlam and then goes on to face Stephanie at Clash in Paris And then Rhea Ripley versus whoever's the champion
Yeah,
on the SmackDown
it's
side.
it's possible, by the way, that they could maybe announce a show for September. September has nothing right now, but I think basically Clash in Paris is basically the September show, with it being like the very last day of August. I think that's basically how WWE is seeing it, as their September show. I doubt that they would announce a Saturday night's main event, because we're already at 3 in the year, and I think the expectation is that that fourth one is going to be at the end of the year in Massachusetts for John Cena's retirement.
Jesus, Santi, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling overwhelmed looking so far ahead.
Yeah,
I'm too slow.
yeah.
It's too much for me. Yeah, I need one PLE at a time, guys.
Well, that's
too many.
WWE is forcing us to look ahead. I still think it's weird that this was a championship opportunity battle royal for a show a month and a half like away, right? Like, that is a long time. I know that it's longer for the Royal Rumble, but that is different. You know, that's the road to WrestleMania. This is what, the road to Clash in Paris? I don't know.
That's wild. Vanessa, thank you so much. We got Kevin Age here who says, hey, Denise and Santi, so now that Roman is back, do you think we are getting a woman's main event at SummerSlam? All right, so with the matches announced so far right now, those 6 that we have, the matches that could realistically be main events, of course, Gunther versus CM Punk, that's one. I could see Naomi, Rhea, and Io being a main event as well, but then John Cena, Cody Rhodes definitely has to be a main event. I know it's sucked at WrestleMania, but how do you not?
Yeah, that's the night 2 for sure. Like, that one's locked. But yeah, CM Punk, Gunther absolutely could be the night 1 main event. I would love the idea of Rhea, Io, and Naomi being a night 1 main event. Like, they've got options for sure. But the night 2, that's the one where there are no options. That's literally just Cena, Cody.
Which sucks, because I don't even think, and we know it's going to be it because of the stature, the star power of these two guys, and that's why they're going to be the main event, but it doesn't have that main event exciting feeling to me, especially after what we saw at WrestleMania. Like, this doesn't feel like a main event, but it's one of those where it almost just has to be, just because of the undisputed WWE Championship on the line and it being Cena and Cody.
Yeah.
We got him. Thank you, Kevin Edge. We got Infamous Raider Loco who says, damn, Denise, 10 jelly shots with alcohol. Rip Santi. Santi would be weekend at Bernie's on stream. Look, Santi, I don't drink, so I don't know what is considered a good amount and a bad amount.
That's a lot. I'm just telling you, it's a lot. 10 shots.
I thought, okay, 10 shots. He could do that. That sounds decent.
I'm a big guy, but like, still, I would still die from that.
Actually, that was the first thing that I noticed when I met Santi for the first time. I walked into the hotel and I turned and I see you and Connor and I'm like, holy shit, Santi is tall. What?
Tell us louder for the people in the back that think I'm 5'2". Louder. There you go. Right there from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. I am not short.
It is true. That was my biggest, that was the surprise that I had, that I saw. Infamous Raider Loco says, okay, after thinking about it, I'm in Jello shots. See, there you go. 10's not so bad. We got Tracy here who says, girl, you don't drink, do donuts. I have faith in JR. Wait, JR? Oh, wait, what? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Jelly
anymore.
roll.
I'm like, who the hell's, what JR are we talking about? That's how much I care about this Jelly Roll stuff.
That's a weird name to acronym, by the way.
Yeah, because I think JR Jim Ross, and I was like, wait, Jim Ross has nothing to do with this. What? I had a brain spasm right now. Thank you, Tracy. We got Infamous Raider Loco who gifted 5 DWO memberships. Thank you, Frank. We got Sleaze Boy here. Oh, Sleaze Boy, I never know what he's going to say. Says, prediction, Judgment Day is going to get a mascot, a rabbit. Liv Morgan will return and Dominic is going to kick Roxanne out. Roxanne will then respond like Glenn Close and Fatal Attraction. Free rabbit stew like pepper steak in 1999. Have you seen the movie Fatal Attraction, Santi?
No.
Okay, I feel like every person should watch Fatal Attraction just to see what can happen if you start messing around. Watch.
Oh, is it a vindictive girlfriend type of movie?
Yeah. So I feel like if you watch it, you're gonna second guess everything in life after that. So I feel it's a must see movie. Thank you, Sleaze Boy. We got Bob Ross Jr. here who says Gunther finally killed off the legacy of WCW at Saturday night's main event, and now he's targeting one of the pillars of the PG era. He is the new legend killer. Did you see how bored poor Gunther looked at the top.
Yeah. I found it so funny that the camera kept panning over to him, and it was just like, oh god, I have to sit here and I have to watch this. I could be on the road back to the next city. I could be in the hotel getting room service.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you, Bob. We got Ryan Sully here who says, hey, Denise, I know this is a Raw review, but Natty Neidhart versus Masha Slamovich was just announced for Bloodsport August 2nd. Keep up the great work, Denise. Hey, Ryan, thank you for letting me know. I know Natty has been doing a couple of stuff with Bloodsport since like WrestleMania weekend. So the fact that her and Masha are going to go at it, that's pretty sick, man. That's pretty sick. Thank you. CJ here says Roman takes a little break and sees Jay. Damn, because where's your title? Can we deep out all of that family? Only Naomi and Solo holding gold. Thanks, CJ. CJ also says, I'm conflicted. I love CM Punk, want him to be WWE World Heavyweight Champ, but I'm getting sick of these terrible reigns. Gunther deserves a better reign, not a worse one. So now that we know that it is going to be Gunther versus CM Punk, how are you feeling about the possibility? Let's be real. It's got to be CM Punk at this. So how are you feeling about a possible CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship reign?
I mean, he's one of my favorites of all time. Like, I'll never be upset about the idea of that. I get the, if you're a Gunther fan, kind of being bummed about the idea of a Gunther reign ending, especially ending when he finally gets one of those Raw main eventers that have been eluding him in all of his championship reigns. But if you think I'm going to be upset over CM Punk winning a world championship, that's never going to happen. I'd be down for that 1,000,000%.
Yeah, one of the things that I was mentioning earlier was that when CM Punk won the AEW World Championship, I was so thrilled. And then with the way that things worked out, I was so sad that we didn't get like a nice little long AEW World Champion CM Punk. So I have been left with the temptation of wanting to see him as World Champion for a lot longer. And this is like CM Punk's not that young anymore. So clearly,
yeah. How did it go with his championship run in AEW? Because I remember
he got
won
hurt.
It. Yeah, he got hurt, that foot injury, dropped it to Moxley. And then he wins it back from Moxley, but then Brawl Out happens.
Yep. And then there was the tricep. So it just did not.
Yeah.
It just did. The injury bug just got him on that. And it was just tainted. It just wasn't meant to be. That's what I'm starting to think. It just wasn't meant to be. And now we know it wasn't. So that's why I'm looking at this and I'm going, all right, like CM Punk's been doing good. You got to do it now or else we never know when it's actually going to happen. And what a kick-ass moment if it were to see CM Punk at MetLife winning the title. So I'm here for it, man. But then again, there is that possibility of Seth coming in and cashing in on him. Oh, man. Thank you, CJ. We got Free Ola 33 who says, Denise is 4'3", so of course Santi would look tall. Hey, now, I'm exactly 5 feet, okay? 5 feet.
He is short. She is very short.
And I hate it. I hate it. Thank you, Free Ola. We got Stephen Marchulli here who says, Gunther beats Goldberg. Rumors say Cena's last opponent. Does the story involve Brock at WrestleMania? Can you imagine if, wait, people are saying that the Cena's last opponent is going to be Gunther?
Yeah, I've been seeing that pop up. Yeah, I've been seeing that pop up a lot today. I don't know where the rumor started, but I just saw it in my chat a lot today, but I don't know what the source is.
Would you care for that?
I would, because Gunther is the quintessential perfect John Cena heel. But the thing is that Cena's a heel. If John Cena was going out as a good guy, Gunther is literally perfect. He is the perfect anti-Cena. He's like the complete opposite of John Cena. I like it, but like right now with both of them being heels, it's tough to visualize. We'll have to see how you would even make that work, because right now it's tough for me to really create a mental picture of what that would look like right now.
I think you got to get people reinterested in Gunther again to be able to even visualize this. Because like you said, that's kind of where I was at when I read this comment. I thought, wait, this is a rumor that's going around? What? I didn't even see this. And I had a tough time, like you said, visualizing this and trying to see this as a possibility. I think that they got to get people reinterested in Gunther once again. To see this match, honestly. But we got Nate Daniel here who says, we all know Santi paid you to lie for him. He's 4'5". Hey, if I'm 4'3" and you're 4'5", that's why I called you tall. So maybe. Thank you, Nate. We got Terrence Matthews who says, I think they should have gone with Bayley. So that's another really big thing that happened on today's show. We got a 2 out of 3 falls match between Bayley and Lyra. Bayley wins the first fall. Lyra wins the second one. And just when I thought Bayley was going to come out and go into this match with Becky, it ends up being Lyra. SANTI, I was so surprised by this because we've seen Becky and Lyra. So I thought, oh, it's been a minute since we've seen Bayley and Becky. So in a stage like this, I want to see that again. And I've been saying forever, I want to see Bayley win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And now I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
I was as shocked as you were. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that because Bayley was forced to miss WrestleMania, that this is where she gets her comeuppance. This is where Becky gets her comeuppance for what she did to Bayley at WrestleMania on another big stage. I thought for sure it was going to be Bayley to win this. But yeah, they caught me off guard entirely. Like, where does this put Bayley though? Like, what are we going to do? Like, is she really in the same year going to miss WrestleMania and SummerSlam? That's crazy. That would be crazy.
They gotta do something there with her. One of the things that I was throwing out there, and I feel like I always throw Bayley's name out there whenever there's a new champion. I always see Bayley as the first challenger to any champion because we know she's gonna have a good match with that person. We know she's gonna make the person look good, and Bayley can afford those kinds of losses, right? So I always kind of throw her out for those types of things. But damn, man, like this felt like it was gonna be a shoo-in, and I don't know why exactly they didn't go with Bayley, but this whole getting Bayley out of opportunities is starting to become a thing, right? Where suddenly I'm starting to wonder, do they not see something in Bayley? What is so wrong with Bayley that she doesn't get these big moments? Like, this is Bayley. Like, she isn't just a nobody. She's somebody that people love and respect. So what is happening here? Why are we not seeing her get these massive, and that's not to say because she did have a massive WrestleMania 40 moment, not to mention her match with Io had the crowd the loudest at WrestleMania, what was it, 40, 41? I don't remember. 40, excuse me. Yeah, 40 in Philadelphia. She had the biggest reception that night when she won that title.
Yeah, it seems like it's a tale as old as time at this point, like Bayley just being overlooked. I mean, mind you, I'm super happy for Lyra Valkyria. I know that match is going to be fantastic, but it is just discouraging to see it, like, just time after time, WWE just seemingly not wanting to do the thing with Bayley. Because I think a lot of people would have been hyped for Bayley versus Becky at SummerSlam for that IC title. That would have been a huge match.
Yeah, I think so too. I do love Lyra. Now I'm thinking Lyra gets her title back, or does she not get her title back? I don't even know anymore. I really, really don't. I am liking more of a sassy Lyra that we're getting. She's been more heelish. I do like that. So kudos to that. But this was a fun match. And again, a surprising end there. We got Dave Koss here who says, last night was pure elation as a women's wrestling fan. I know I buried the Evolution build and I stand by that, but the women had a full-on boulder on their shoulders and I'm so happy they smashed it. Dave went on to also say, Becky, Lyra, and Bayley are firmly in fight forever mode. Feud of the year. Every single match and segment has delivered. So happy for them. Yeah, so I agree with Dave. Of course, I still stand on the exact same feeling that Evolution's build was not great, but damn, did that show knock it out of the park, though. And Santi, do you think that they're going to do another Evolution next year and moving forward, or do you think they're not going to do that?
I mean, it was a critical success. I think everybody walked away from that show knowing that it's amazing. And the ticket sales ended up being much better than we all anticipated. They jumped from like 4,000 to 80 something hundred. I'm hoping that's good enough to give us Evolution 3 because the show was genuinely fantastic. I'm not convinced, though. I'm not convinced that they would do another one. It took them 7 years to do another one. I don't know. Like it'll all entirely determine on whether or not this was a good enough, profitable venture for TKO. Because I don't think that they care whether or not it was a critical success. I think all they care is whether or not it's financially viable.
And that sucks. I think that the women really did send out a statement last night by putting on the best show. I mean, the match with Io and Rhea, they really took it to another level. And then all the other girls, like even Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus had a great match. Even the women's tag team match was great. Even the battle royal. I don't even like battle royals, and I liked this battle royal. So I feel like they all knocked it out of the park. The crowd brought this insane amount of energy. And again, I know like the week before, Santi, you mentioned how there was this huge jump in the ticket sales. I remember the week before I was looking at the ticket sales and I was thinking, oh my God, they're going to have to black out this crowd. And then suddenly people buy tickets. Here we are. The crowd looked great, sounded great. I'm sorry, but to me, all of the boxes were checked. We need to keep doing this if they want to. I think they should.
I'm with you. I'm with you there.
We got JJ Castillo here who says, I really wish WWE has more matches for every PLE. Evolution had 7 matches and the matches were good. It wasn't too short or long. I hope they do Evolution every year going forward. I'm with you, JJ. I thought 7 matches flew by. It felt like a really easy, breezy show to watch. Thank you, JJ. We got CJ here who says it's not just Gunther, it's all the champs on the main roster. All the reigns stink. Cena's the best right now, and that says a lot. That's been meh as well. That's wild. I can't even say that. I can't agree with this one, CJ. I can't. We got Dave Costier who says, I loathed when Callis did a clear DQ at All In, took me out of it. So to keep the same energy, when in the holy hell did Gauntlet become no DQ? They had said... So when Bronson got involved, I thought it was going to end in a DQ, but then they said in commentary that there was no DQ. So I thought, oh, okay, what do I know?
Yeah, I just made that shit up. Apparently, they did say before the match started that the only way to win is by pinfall or submission. All right, they weren't very clear on that at all.
We got Dave Koss here who says, I think they do SummerSlam, Stephanie and the Brellas versus Chelsea Green and the Secret Service. Okay, so Dave is thinking of 3-on-3 instead of 2-on-2. Okay, cool. All right, I can see that. It might be 2-on-2 though. We got Rahu P here who says 6 matches already announced for SummerSlam. They might make it work with a short build. Hope just like Evolution, matches will deliver. I hope so too. I don't think so far. The only match that's really in question as to how it might turn out, in my opinion, is Tiffany and Jade. I don't know how that match will turn out. And then, of course, the Jelly Roll match. Those are the only 2 matches on the card so far where I'm not as confident in them. Thank you, Rahul. We got Dave Koss here who says, I hear you guys, but Becky Lyra 3 as the rubber on that stage, I think made the most sense, but I hear you on Bayley. That's fair. Thank you, Dave. We got Infamous Raider Loco who says, honestly, if CM Punk and Gunther going to be the bigger draw as far as CM Punk winning, they should close night 2. Punk's first world title win in so long. If Seth cashes in, huge pop. Love Cody unless he turns heel. It should be Punk winning. Yeah, man. Okay, so what do you think? So I think what Infamous Raider Loco here is saying that seeing CM Punk and Gunther would be the bigger draw versus seeing the Cody John Cena match as the main event. I think that's what Infamous Raider Loco is trying to get at here.
If that's what you mean, I disagree. It's Cena Cody. That's the bigger draw. It just absolutely will be. It might not be the bigger draw for the super hardcore wrestling fan, but for a SummerSlam, that is easily the bigger draw. I will say, I feel like they figured out the John Cena match model, and I feel like maybe they didn't know how to make a John Cena match good at WrestleMania 41 yet. And they figured it out. They sorted it out come the Randy Orton match. If they can bring that same type of like craziness, shenanigans, atmosphere, energy to the SummerSlam match, then I think Cody Rhodes versus John Cena could be a fantastic match. Like, because Cena's like the match against Punk was awesome. The match with Randy was awesome. Freaking the Raw and Cena match was a lot of fun at Saturday night's main event. They figured out the John Cena model as a heel, and I think that they didn't know how to do it back at WrestleMania 41. Just for the love of God, no Travis Scott.
Oh, you know what's going to happen, though.
I know.
You just know they're going to redo the Travis Scott thing. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to get on all of our nerves by walking slow to the rampway once again, and we're all just gonna have to sit there and take it. We got Dave Cost here who says, if they do it any other weekend, they get a normal 12 to 13K attendance, no doubt in my mind. Give them their own weekend, build it, and make it matter on TV. Yeah, let's not forget that everything and their mother was taking place in Atlanta that weekend. Thanks, Dave. Infamous Raider Loco says, let's be honest, it shouldn't be hard to have one all women's PLE a year. Really? But if it's an all tag team PLE, Denise is out. Look, like I said, it should not be that hard. They have so many women that can do it. They can definitely do this as a yearly thing. Larry Johnson says SummerSlam better be good. They has to be good, Santi. It's a 2-night show. They can't afford for the show to stink. To me, this is their chance to undo, or sorry, they get a chance to redo what they didn't do over at WrestleMania. Like this, they have an opportunity to make this feel like a WrestleMania kind of a show.
Yeah, and I think that's their intention, right? By making it 2 nights, they're probably wanting this to be a big success so that they can shop it around and sell it to cities in the future. So I think that this being a big success is really important to the WWE, and I'm sure they know that.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. We got Vin here. Vin, thank you so much for the super chat. Vin says, do we know Lyra's merch number or ratings patterns? The office must know something we don't know, going back to Lyra and Becky instead of Bayley, or perhaps this is Becky's creative input. Good work. Okay, that's interesting. So basically, I think Vin is asking why they keep doing all of this with Lyra, because Lyra she's been treated very well on this roster, Santi, and she isn't someone that, she's interesting because she wasn't someone that won people over by character work. She won people over through her wrestling. And I think that is what has given the company the faith in pushing her in terms of putting her in these big moments and big matches.
Yeah, I mean, I would also say that just her work with Becky Lynch, she obviously it takes 2 to tango, but I think Becky Lynch has really helped elevate Lyra Valkyria and got what I think was missing out of Lyra, because her matches were always fantastic, but the Becky feud kind of like, it was like Becky like went down her throat with her hand and snatched out a character and brought her to life, right? And made her sympathetic, made her interesting. And that was a missing element of Lyra Valkyria that I think Becky Lynch got out of her.
I agree, man. I really do think that's what she did. And then Bayley kind of started to push her further. And I feel like now we have this Lyra Valkyria and she's going to still continue to grow. She's still going to get there. I think the one thing that now Lyra needs is to build a connection with the audience. They love to sing her song. There's an inside joke of calling her the Bird Lady. She's a good wrestler. We're getting more personality. Now she just needs to build that connection with the fans, and she's going to keep continuing to grow on this show. But yeah, there's still a lot. She's just really, really talented too. And I'm glad that they see that, even despite some of the things that she still needed to work on. Thank you, Vin. We got Dave Koss here who says, curious, your guys' take. Tiff is not a babyface. Said it all year. She worked heel, taunted the fans post-win, ripped the belt from the rest, and she's great heel. Just because they say Tiffy time doesn't make it okay to force. I see Tiffany as a heel. I feel like I thought she was going to turn babyface, and then she kept acting like a heel, so I've been seeing her as a heel. What about you, Santi?
I mean, I think that she plays the heel role better than the babyface, to the point where even her babyface role is just her being a heel, which I think is kind of cool. I don't want her to turn into the like, I love the fans type of babyface. I like that she has kept the exact same vibe, a mean girl vibe, from babyface to heel. Obviously, she's a babyface in terms of like how they position her and who she faces, but it's the same character. And I think I really like that, because with the snap of a finger, you can just say, well, Tiffy, now you're going up against Trish, and you don't have to change anything about yourself. But Trish is now the crowd favorite in this one. And then the very next day, you can have her feud against another heel, and it's nothing needs to change. They don't need to do too much of a pivoting here. It'll be interesting who the crowd is going to be behind here, Tiffy or Jade, because I think it's going to be Tiffy.
Really? I thought it was going to be Jade.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think my assessment might be wrong on that. I don't know who's more popular, Tiffany or Jade.
I think Tiffy. I think Tiffy's more popular. But we'll see.
Shit, I read that completely wrong, because I really thought it was Jade, but I felt like they were kind of neck and neck when it came to that, so we'll see. Thank you, Dave. We got CJ here who says, have you started liking the Cena reign since I took a break, or do you disagree that there are no good reigns at the moment? I'm curious. I'm not a fan of the Cena stuff right now. I mean, it's gotten better, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm still not a huge fan of it. What about, Santi, I know you're a big John Cena fan. But
well, it's gotten way better, way better. Like, it's improved. significantly. It gets better every single time that we get Cena out there. So I get excited about the notion of Cena coming back this Friday. I just hope that they do the build differently with Cody Rhodes, like they completely different than what they did on the road to WrestleMania 41.
And literally anything would be different at this point, because last time it was mainly just John Cena versus the crowd. Leaving poor Cody out there when he would do his solo freaking promos that he didn't even know what else new to say. So yeah, I do hope they do it different. We got Kevin Nash here who says, people just need to stop booking The Rock for the main event. Guaranteed disappointment. I'm not even thinking about The Rock. He's not even in my mind right now. Do you think that the fans are going to start the conversation of wanting to see The Rock at SummerSlam involved in this? Or is just people just forgetting about The Rock? Because I kind of forgot about him in this story.
I mean, I would prefer to be The Rock over Travis Scott, right? If I have the choice over either of those two, I would much prefer to be The Rock. If there is going to be interference, I'll say this: I hope it's The Rock. I hope it's The Rock. I hope it's The Rock, or maybe a heel Randy Orton turn during that match would be kind of crazy, turning on Cody Rhodes. Here's the thing: this match needs the fluff, it needs the craziness, it needs the shenanigans. That's the formula that's worked for John Cena over the last couple of matches, and they shouldn't deviate from that.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be Jelly Roll. He's going to be running on such an adrenaline from his tag team match. He's going to go out there and bust the other freaking eardrum of Cody Rhodes.
God. Yeah, just put everyone against Jelly Roll at this point.
We got Infamous Raider Loco here who says, love Santi's point of view. Santi's point of view. He is right. I agree. I was thinking how WrestleMania match went down. It has gotten better. So I agree. Have two big nights. Punk, Cody win. Thank you, Frank. We got Terrence Matthews here who says, my dream scenario is Stephanie wins the title at WrestleMania. I'm worried that they pulled the trigger too early. Oh, the trigger too early on Stephanie. Interesting. Okay. I can see that only because she just really got there, but she's going to be put up to the test. She really is. And I think so far she's gotten so far with just being herself. She hasn't needed to do anything more. She just goes out there and people just like what she offers.
Listen, never complain about the trigger getting pulled early, because the alternative is it doesn't get pulled at all. Ask LA Knight fans. Ask LA Knight fans.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, there you go. Argument one. Thank you, Terrence. We got Paul here who says, if you saw Evolution, the referee lifted Tiffany's hand and ripped the title belt out of the ref's hands. Those are heel vibes. Yeah, man, she's a heel. That's how she feels, man. She feels like a heel. I agree. Thank you, Paul. We got Bob Ross Jr. here who says CM Punk winning the title at AJ Lee's home state of New Jersey would be cool, not gonna lie, but I still want Gunther to retain, so it's a tough choice. See, I don't want Gunther to retain. I think we're good. We saw what we got out of Gunther's reign, and now he's just gonna make for a good match with CM Punk. Thank you, Bob. All right, let's get into the rest of Monday Night Raw. So we got to see Raquel and Roxanne Perez successfully defeat Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Dominic Mysterio was sent out by Finn Balor to be out there in their corner. The biggest thing that I got from this is damn Finn is still out there trying to part Dominic and Liv. But the other thing I do want to mention is having the Kabuki Warriors, Santi, back in this division as an active tag team. Oh, it's added so much already to the women's tag team division.
I was kind of bummed initially that they put them back together, because I was like, I kind of wanted to see singles runs for both of these two. But if they're actually going to try with the women's tag team division, then great. If they're actually going to. But I need to see long-term attempts, not just, hey, we needed a couple tag teams for Evolution.
Yes. And I mean, I'm just liking them back on the show. I really am. And then also, by the way, they're still trying to get Dominic Mysterio cleared, and he's still trying to use his doctor's note.
He was only able to jump up there to help Judgment Day because of the adrenaline running in his soul.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I liked that little mention there. AJ Styles praying, Dominic praying. Everybody was praying for things that they wanted. I thought that was great. So I think what did they say? Next week, they're going to do a reevaluation of Dominic.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to add this match to SummerSlam.
Yeah, this will be a SummerSlam match. Oh, yeah, I'd imagine, yeah.
Cool. Nikki Bella versus Chelsea Green. Nikki Bella defeats Chelsea Green in this match. Wait, why'd you say
Oh, that was a rough match. It was a rough match.
I liked it. Maybe because I like both of them, so I saw this with stars in my eyes.
It was bad. It was bad. All right, get those stars. You gouge your eyes out. It was bad.
Okay. That's fair enough. Look, I liked how they look. They're both a certain type of performer, so I feel like they did what they could do, and that was the best that it came out. And that's why I didn't hate it. I like them both, so I enjoyed their interactions. But I get it. It wasn't a, stellar performance. All right, but Nikki Bella continues on, and we should move on from that. All right, we got Gunther's segment. Gunther going out there and bragging about taking out Bill Goldberg and retiring him. Dang. And then this, of course, led to the actual gauntlet. So, I mean, dude, I don't even know what to say other than, damn, Gunther could actually, now that people were saying that Gunther could retire John Cena, now it's got me really thinking he could be this legend killer. But other than that, I do want to get your thoughts, though, on Goldberg and Gunther, because I honestly, Santi, I felt bad for Goldberg. I felt that the match was so vanilla, and then the way that they rushed him out, I thought that is so sad. He had like 30 seconds to say bye and thank you to everybody after this long career.
Yeah, I mean, I was like the match. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. Like, I was entertained by it. I was not expecting anything more than what we got. To me, so disrespectful that they gave him 30 seconds. They didn't even need to do that. Like, I just don't understand the weird pacing that they decided with their commercial breaks. Why did they take a commercial break with 3 minutes before the show ended, after the main event ended, just to come back for 5 seconds to cut off Goldberg? I didn't get that at all.
Dude, I thought they weren't even going to come back at one point. I don't know if you saw, because I don't know if everyone's broadcast is different, but when they put the Georgia thing, the little Georgia logo, I thought, oh shit, is this over? Like, I was almost going to click off and turn off the stream. But then I thought maybe, just maybe, like, they got to come back because they never actually closed the show out. And that would be weird. WWE would not close out the show. And so, yeah, it was awkward. And I felt bad for Goldberg. So it was just weird. And it didn't have that same kind of, when I was there when Sting retired. When Sting retired, wow, what a moment, right? Emotional. It really felt grand. And then this with Goldberg's retirement just did not have that same kind of energy at all. And I think that's what I was comparing it to be honest. All right, let me see what we got here. We got Infamous Raider Loco who says, I mean, if we didn't get CM Punk versus Kenny in AEW as an example to pull the trigger with Stephanie Vaquer, I want her as in my champ, Dark Queen. Man, I'm so sad we never got CM Punk and Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge believer, and my viewers know that, and I say this all the time. If the match is there, just do it. Like, don't wait for this bigger venue, because you don't know in wrestling, right? Injuries, scheduling conflicts. If it's there and it makes sense, just fucking do it.
I agree. We got CJ here who says, in my opinion, the titles have been switched too much this year, and barely anyone has more than 2 to 3 successful defenses, but maybe it just bothers me. I think I do want to see more defenses. When they showed Io's stats going into Evolution, and they said she'd been champion for like 130 something days, and she had 3 defenses, I thought, oh shit, why not go out there and have the champion defend the title a lot more? I kind of prefer that. Thank you, CJ. All right. The last but not least, we kind of didn't really get to break down the gauntlet itself. I was about to say the gauntlet. The gauntlet. The gauntlet. Braun Breaker defeated Penta. Braun Breaker defeated LA Knight. Braun Breaker defeated Jey Uso, and unfortunately was not able to defeat CM Punk, even though he had some help from Bronson Reed. How did you feel about the gauntlet itself, though?
I love the gauntlet. No, I thought it was awesome seeing Braun Breaker just kind of cut through everybody. A little bit shocked that LA Knight didn't have a better showing than he ultimately did. I actually thought LA Knight was the favorite going into that, especially after he just pinned Seth Rollins. I know it was because of the injury, but like, that still is what happened here in the story. He just pinned the biggest bad guy in all of WWE. Even if that wasn't the original plan, that's still what they had to go with. So I would have thought that they were going to build off of that. But it was a cool breakout, honestly, for Braun Breaker, and just getting a visualization of what Braun Breaker could look like in the main event is what I got out of this gauntlet match. But I think the correct choice was made. CM Punk, and then obviously Roman coming back is sick.
Yeah, and now this just leaves me with there's still so much more that needs to be done with Roman and CM Punk. I still think that that's a marquee matchup that they can still do. And like we said earlier, so it is looking like they're probably going to do that SummerSlam tag team match, which again wasn't what I was expecting for Roman, but given Seth's injury, that may be the turnaround there. But nah, man, I liked this gauntlet. I thought Braun and Penta, they always seem to have really good chemistry. I thought LA Knight did just fine. Jey Uso, I think Jey Uso had probably, unfortunately, had like the least opportunity to really do a good showing there, because at that point, you know, they wanted to get to Braun and CM Punk. And yeah, man, like I was a fan of what they did and how this led to Roman Reigns. And I love that everybody was chanting for Roman. Everyone knew the moment was coming for Roman to go out there. And I honestly wasn't even sure. But when he did come out, obviously it was a huge reaction. So it was fun. It was like, okay, we're getting to it. We're about to be all gas, no brakes heading into SummerSlam. And it kind of has to be that way for the next couple of weeks because we got a big show to sell.
Yep.
We got Rafael Garcia here who says, so Lyra was mad at Bayley for not texting her back, for being upset at her, rightfully so, for costing for her the IC title, and for being selfish. IDK. I don't know. It's so weird. I feel like that Lyra sometimes feels a little bit more mad at Bayley than at Becky, which she should still be more mad at Becky. I don't know. That's something that I kind of was thinking about during this. Thank you, Raphael. We got Broadway Joe here who says, in my opinion, if the world title is being defended, there should be at least 30,000 people in the stands. But I don't know if 4 to 5 defenses a year is realistic. There should be one mid-card defense on each Raw, SmackDown for sure. Yeah, man, I'm with you. I want to see more titles being defended constantly because there's so many matches that we don't get to see that I would like to see. So I'm always here for more title defenses across the board for every title, even the main championships. I mean, SANTI, that was part of the reason why they even brought the World Heavyweight Championship back. Remember, it was Seth Rollins said, I'm going to be the workhorse champion because Roman wasn't defending his title that often. And then Seth was out there, I felt like, defending it almost all the single time, every single time. And that's what made, I was a big fan of Seth Rollins when he had the World Heavyweight Championship that first time. And it made it very exciting to watch him constantly go out there and have these defenses. He wrestled Finn Balor like 4 or 5 times during that.
Yeah, I want defenses, and like we have the perfect example as to like why we need to have more defenses for world champions. Look at Io Sky. Why are we hiding this amazing talent and not having her have matches for like 2 months after WrestleMania 41? Like that's crazy to me. No, I want the title to be out there. I want the champion to be a fighting champion. I want titles on the line.
Thank you so much, Broadway Joe. All right, ladies and gents, that was Monday Night Raw, July 14th. What a night, what a show. We are on the road to SummerSlam. I want to thank each and every single person who came out here and hung out with SANTI and I to chat Raw. We're going to be back here each and every single Monday night to talk about the show. I also want to let you know that if you do want to listen to the show in audio format, we are officially part of the Blue Wire family. So if you search up Instinct Culture by Denise Salcedo on Apple Pod, Spotify, or anywhere you guys listen to podcasts, you can find this show along with several others. I covered wrestling on a daily basis, and so you get all of the pro wrestling news that you can possibly want. SANTI, what do you have for the people? Let them know where they can find you.
Oh, any and all places that have SANTI Zap in them, I'm in there. I'm about to reach 400,000 followers on Instagram, so I would love to get your extra little follows on there in case you don't already follow me there. But otherwise, just SANTI Zap and pick the platform you prefer.
Let's go. All right, you guys. As for me, @_ Denise Salcedo all over. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.